So, you finally set the boundary, they actually respected it, and now you feel anxious, guilty, or even kind of empty. Welcome to the part of healing no one warns you about, when peace feels uncomfortable. Guys, my name is Melanie Silva, recovered people pleaser turned Boundary'd Baddie, and today we're talking about 6 repercussions of building boundaries. Also, if you're a recovering people pleaser learning to say no without guilt, grab my free guide, Say No with Grace, the link's below. It'll help you handle these moments where you're not sure what to say. So, number 1, when people actually listen to your boundaries, it can feel weird, even disappointing. I was dating this guy who was hot and cold with me for like 2 years. He'd text me, take me out on dates a few times, and then ghost. But then he would still like my Instagram stories. And I'd be like, oh, he's not gone, he's just haunting me. Then a few weeks later, boom, he'd text again. And suddenly I had butterflies. I'd convinced myself, maybe this time he's not as busy. Spoiler, he was just as busy wasting my time. Finally, I had a little chat with myself. I was like, Mel, cut the baloney. Next time he comes back, don't give him fireworks. So when he texted again, I hit him with a cold shoulder. 1-word answers, no emojis. That's how you know it's serious, okay? I was a total emotional iceberg. A part of me hoped he'd chase me, ask what was wrong, maybe fight for me. Instead, he disappeared. He ghosted me. Another fallen soldier. He stopped watching my stories. Poof, gone. And honestly, that was my boundary working because my message was clear. I'm not rewarding inconsistency. In his response, well, inconsistency is all I have to offer, so peace. He actually did respect my boundary, which was I'm not dealing with inconsistency. So he became consistently unavailable. Even though it stung, that was him respecting my boundary by removing himself from my life. What are you gonna do? Turns out you can't control people. Turns out they disappoint you. And at first, this hurt my feelings, and I thought about texting him, poking him, sending him a bunch of heart eye emojis and backpedaling, doing whatever it took to get his attention again. And then I thought to myself, if he wanted a sincere relationship with me, he would have been like, hey, are you okay? Is something different between us? He would have pursued harder. My inner being knew that his inconsistency was a sign of insincerity. That's why I put up that boundary with him, because secretly I was afraid of that. And then me putting up that boundary just showed those true colors. Even though it was a confirmation of what I secretly knew, it was still a blow to my ego, honestly. And it also felt like a blow to my intelligence, in that I realized that I was making up so much of our relationship in my head, you know, and that's something that I think as girls, we often do. In the girl world, we have talked about how there's a girl who's delusional about a man who's not treating her right. And then we talk about the friend who gives her advice to break the illusion, to burst her bubble. But we don't talk about how it feels worse to be the one to burst your own bubble, to break your own delusion. When you're the one who bursts your own bubble, you're like, aw, should have I kept that bubble going just to feel better? You know, so it takes a lot of strength in these moments when people listen to your boundaries, but they don't give you the response that you are hoping for. It takes a lot of strength to stand strong and unwavering in your boundary when there's no friend backing you up. It's just you holding you accountable. So please dig in and stand your ground and hold. Do not go back to them. Do not back off on the boundary that you just put up. Let yourself sit with that awkward feeling and then pat yourself on the back, because that is such a power move. You are calling back your power and becoming the Boundary'd Baddie that you are always meant to be. Number 2, the nervous system recalibration and why it feels so weird. Essentially, when you stop people pleasing, your nervous system doesn't know what to do with itself, all right? It doesn't know what to do with safety. It's used to managing chaos, not peace. So when things finally get calm, your brain interprets the calm as danger. Also, these highs and lows that you can feel with chaotic people kind of give you these like big highs of rushes. It's like a rush of adrenaline. It's like the high of going on a roller coaster and you're like, woo, fun. But then you go down and you're like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna throw up. And then you get off and you're like, whoa, I just need to calm down. And then you get bored, and then you wanna do it again. Like that's your cycle, all right? This is the pattern your nervous system is used to. There's a lot more information coming out about this now, and a lot of people can logically acknowledge this about themselves. They know that their nervous system is addicted to chaos, yet they do nothing to stop that. But then they like to sound cool socially and be like, oh my God, I'm such a mess. My nervous system loves chaos. And I'm super emotionally aware, so I can have these therapy type conversations, but I've never tried to change because that takes actual courage. So please don't be that person, okay? Feel yourself wanting the high and low and just resist it anyway, okay? I know it's a weird feeling. It's like your inner child is standing there like, wait, nobody's mad at us? Did we die? Am I at my own funeral? No, you did not die, okay? Number 3, as a woman, when you start having boundaries, you carry a different energy. You go from having a kind of like naive, doughy, princess energy into having a queen energy. And because of that, you get hit on less. It can hurt your ego because you won't have as many guys trying to start something with you. Now, don't get me wrong, you'll still get hit on, you'll still get the looks, people will still open doors for you, you'll get treated well, but less men will try to start something with you because you're no longer easy prey. You no longer have this overly open, warm energy that has no boundaries around it, that attracts everybody. Remember, everybody includes good men, men with shallow intentions, narcissists with dark intentions. Like when you attract everybody, you also attract the riffraff. So give yourself permission to have exclusive energy and realize that when people can sense, oh, she doesn't put up with baloney, she has boundaries, the less they are going to try to come for you, right? And so at first, you might feel like, oh my God, am I ugly now? Like what's going on? You're not ugly. It's just that your energy's different. You have gates around the castle, whereas before the castle was just out in the open, hanging in the wind. The walls were easy to climb, all right? Ready to be seized by any gremlin, okay? We're not in that place anymore. Number 4, you'll have more peace, which might equate to boredom. And you might find yourself wanting to let chaotic people back into your life or indulge in partying more. You'll want to fill the void. I'll be honest, when I first started putting up boundaries, not only with romantic partners, but with friends and professional relationships, like all of a sudden I got all this time back and I didn't fully know what to do with it. Because when you've healed most of your wounds and you're no longer crying in the shower every night, you're like, wow, what do I do with all this new space in my life? And you can't help but think to yourself like, gosh, I'm bored. What should I do? Maybe I should text him again. Maybe I should call up that girlfriend who always disrespects my boundaries or gets me into chaotic messes because she loves to party. You know, I could use a quick hit of debauchery. I urge you to not go back to that person you used to be. There's this middle part between who you used to be and the person you're becoming. And it's really important that you embrace that pause and use this time to really reflect. Who do I want to be? You know, like what type of people do I want to be around? And then start planting those seeds. Like start mingling with people that you want to be with. Just realize that these things, they take time to shift. So It is important to not fall back into who you used to be just because you're lonely and bored for like 6 months, all right? The average human life expectancy is 73 years old. Being a little bored for 6 months to a year is actually not that much time. And if it's used wisely, it will speed up the rest of your life in a positive way afterwards. Number 5, you'll have less friends. So when I started putting up boundaries, I did start getting in fights with almost all of my friends, like a lot. A lot of them were so used to me just being okay with everything. Like anytime they disrespected me, I'd be like, oh, well, I understand where you're coming from, or like not ever saying what I was actually thinking. Also, side note, just because you understand why someone is the way they are, you understand how they grew up and that's why they behave in a certain way, just because you understand that doesn't mean you should also keep allowing the behavior. So when I stopped being so understanding of people's disrespect, and when I started saying what I actually thought, I lost some people. Some people were mad that I started sticking up for myself because I was betraying the way that I always showed up for them. Essentially, when I started showing up for myself better than for other people, a lot of people got mad. So I did lose a lot of friends. But I will tell you, some of my friends actually pleasantly surprised me. For example, I was at a party with one of my friends. She's usually the loud, opinionated one, and I'm much more of the peacekeeper. She got into an argument with someone, and for once, I didn't jump in and back her up. Mind you, I felt she was instigating the fight, being totally unhinged and disrespectful. I didn't defend the other person, but I did not rush to her side either. Later, I also told her something that she said made me feel disrespected. She was surprised and said, well, how was I supposed to know? And I said, maybe if you asked me for once, instead of assuming that I'll always agree with you. That moment made me realize when you're always around people who pop off, you start silencing your own voice just to keep the peace. And that's not peace, that's fear dressed up as harmony. So this ended up being a huge fight with one of my best friends. I was worried we were going to lose the friendship, but ultimately she heard me and changed her behavior towards me. She also knew I wasn't going to condone certain behavior anymore. So after that, I actually felt closer to her than ever. And I realized, like, wow, this person does value me. So I say this just to say you will lose people, but you will also enhance the relationships of some people when you show up as your authentic self. You will gain their respect. It's worth having uncomfortable conversations. If I'd told myself it's not worth the fight, I'll just cut her off, I would have missed the chance to help her understand me. When you're a recovering people pleaser, you have to remember the first time you stand up for yourself, people will be surprised. They're used to you agreeing with everything. But that's why it's so important to speak up. You have to give people the chance to meet the new you. Because if you've been silent for years, how would they know who you really are? That's part of taking accountability, not just for who they've been, but for who you've been too. Number 6. I said this before, I'm gonna say it again because it's so important. Accept that this is a pause in your life. Accept that by becoming someone new, by building boundaries, by stopping the people-pleasing pattern that's been running your life for X amount of years, your life will shift, will pause. There will be a lot of it that burns to the ground, and that will feel uncomfortable, even scary. And when you have doubts about the new life you're building and feel like you want to go back, remember, you don't want that old life. There's a reason that you've come this far, all right? In sum, drawing boundaries is hard and it feels very uncomfortable at first. But let yourself sit with that discomfort as it's the path towards your new life. If you go back to being the old you, you will never get the life you want. You will never get the love you want. You will never get the respect you want. You will never get the money that you want and deserve and are worthy of. So on that note, Guys, my name is Melanie Silva, recovered people pleaser turned boundary baddie. And if you feel uncomfortable saying no in social situations, please grab my free guide, Say No with Grace. The link's below. All right, guys, much love. I'll see you in the next one.